Alright guys, so today we're going to be comparing STR Final Form Cooler as well as Physical Beerus. So the reason I'm comparing these units is because right now pretty much everyone agrees that it's between these two for the best T-War in the game that obviously does an easy A. Because I feel like the best T-War in the game, I mean, you could argue it's either of these two or it's Physical Vegito Blue. And those are really the only options. There are really only 3 horses in the running here. So we're gonna start off by breaking them down, and then I'll just kind of share with you why some people say that Beerus is the best, why some people say Cooler is the best. I'll throw a little bit of my own opinion in there. We'll compare teams, show some rotations that you could probably run, and then I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll say at the end of this video what I think, because I really think it could go either way, but we'll just start off with Cooler because Cooler came out first. So he's Terrifying Conquerors and Transformation Boost Category 3 key, HP plus 130, Attack and Defense plus 170. Now, as far as leader skill goes, I feel like Cooler definitely has a better leader skill. Just 100% Transformation Boost. Whoops, that's not that. Transformation Boost. If we just look at it, it has one of the best rosters in the game. It probably does have the single best roster in the game, because if you look, it has pretty much every villain, and then it has every mid-battle transforming hero as well. And I had a friend who actually pulled Cooler, and he's not super into the game, but he was just looking at Cooler's leader skill, and he was like, wait, why is Int Future Gohan on Conquest of Terrors? I don't know why that was so funny to me, but anyways, so his leader skill is just insane. So that's Transformation Boost, and then he also has Conquest of Terror, which isn't a great leader skill, but it does just add some other solid units that, are just nice to have. It's nice to have more options, but for all intents and purposes, he is just a Transformation Boost category leader skill. But anyways, on Super Attack, he causes immense damage to enemy and lowers attack and defense. That's pretty good. Now his passive, he gets attack and defense plus 100%, and then he gives Transformation Boost category allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense when facing only one enemy. And then Terrifying Conquerors category allies 2 key, attack and defense plus 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. Now, this is one of the weird things about him, is because, if you're bringing him into Super Battle Road, his support type ability will change depending on how many enemies you're facing. But pretty much that's only going to be a problem in Super Battle Road. And then, obviously, you can transform. It's an active skill, and the restriction is it can be activated when there is a pure or hybrid Saiyans category enemy starting from the 3rd turn of the start of battle, or when facing only one enemy starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. So a 3rd turn transformation is really, really good against probably 70% of the game with pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans, especially if the fusions ever got pure Saiyans. But I'm not saying that's probably ever going to happen. Then Links, he has Strongest Clan in Space, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Brutal Beatdown, Metamorphosis, Universe's Most Malevolent, and Fierce Battle. So his Links, pretty good. It would be nice if he had Shocking Speed, but obviously because he gives a support type buff, he doesn't need it as much. Categories on Movie Bosses, Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline, Terrifying Conquerors, Target Goku, and Last Resort. So then once he transforms, he is nasty. He's no longer a support type unit. So now he raises attack infinitely and causes immense damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense. His passive, he gets 3 key, attack and defense plus 180%. He launches an additional attack which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, and performs a critical hit if there's a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans category enemy. He hits insanely hard. Apparently his medium chance is 25%. A medium chance can be anywhere from 20 to 30 most of the time in this game, but 25% is pretty good considering, because that additional attack is guaranteed. If you have any dupes in him, that also does give him an extra chance for that his potential system additional to kick in. So what's really gross is if you have a rotation of this guy and this guy next to each other, because this guy will be giving the untransformed version will be giving support to the transformed version. I don't know, it just works really well. They'll be activating every single link. It's really, really gross. And then just moving on to Beerus. Beerus does not have a transformation. He does have an active skill. But I guess we'll get to comparing that later. So his leader skill, he gives Explosion of Anger or Realm of Gods category 3 key, HP plus 130, attack and defense plus 170. So their leader skill, key and stats wise, is the same. They both give HP 130, attack and defense 170. and 3 key. So, I mean, it's really just Cooler's leader skill is better just because of the transformation boost leader skill. But Realm of Gods and Explosion of Anger isn't bad. It's just Explosion of Anger, if we look at it, it's a pretty small category. I mean, like, a lot of the units here are good, it's just there aren't many units here. It's very limited. So if you don't have any of the, like, super good top tier units, you might not have enough units to fully make the team. Now, Realm of Gods is a pretty large category, and there have been so many, like, good units to recently come out. You probably have at least some of them. But the one thing is, like, this is the third Realm of Gods category lead. Because obviously UI Goku's a real category lead. He gives 3Q 150. Zamasu is a real category lead, and he's still probably the best Realm of Gods category leader. Because remember, if you run his variant of the team, you can run any extreme class unit on the team, which is really nice. So his leader skill, it's just nowhere near on the level of Cooler's. But let's just keep moving on. On Super Attack, he raises attack, causes immense damage to enemy, and greatly lowers defense. This is the exact same thing. Like, word for word, the exact same thing that Cooler does after he transforms. And then his passive skill, he gets defense plus 100%. That's at the start of turn. I really, really like that they gave him that at the start of turn. Because if they didn't, this guy's kit would not work at all. And I'll explain that later. And then he gets 150% attack when performing a super attack, and then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 70% after receiving an attack within that same turn. And then if you're facing a Realm of Gods category enemy, he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, and he's super effective against all types. Now, the reason I said his kit wouldn't work if this defense was on super attack is because for him to get this extra 70% attack and defense, you need to put him in the first slot. And if you put him in the first slot and he got his defense on super attack, he would get hit so hard in that first slot it wouldn't even be fair. But the way it is, I mean, he hits insanely hard. And then he also has an active skill, which is attack and defense plus 50%, and attacks effective against all types, and attacks will always connect for one turn. You get to use that when HP is 70% or less, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. Obviously only one time. But here's one thing that's kind of crazy about this guy. So he gets 150% attack on super attack, and then he gets 70% attack after he's hit once. And then if you have his active skill active, he gets 50% from his active skill. And because all of those activate in different phases of the turn, they all kind of multiply into each other. And if we just scroll down here, they should give us the numbers. Yeah, if you get all of his passive active at the same time, he will have 380% attack and 410% defense. That is insane. That is so much. So, if we look at his links, it's hard to compare them to Cooler's just because, like if we look at Beerus does have shocking speed, which just alone does probably make his links slightly better than Cooler's. So he has Godly Power, Prodigies, Connoisseur, the Innocence, Shocking Speed, Berserker, and Fierce Battle. As well as the fact that this guy has a lot of like perfect linking partners. Like one, this Whis, who I'm not going to really be breaking down, but really what is so good about this Whis is how much he supports Beerus. Like Beerus and Whis is one of the best rotations in the game. Because Whis is going to be giving 50% like attack and defense to Beerus. Whis is going to be activating a whole lot of links. I mean, it's just gross. Like Beerus can hit over a 10 million attack stat in like the perfect scenario. And Cooler cannot, but I mean, so here's basically what you have to decide from if you're choosing between Beerus and Cooler. Beerus hits harder and defends better. Those are facts. What I just said, like, can mathematically be proven with the 410% defense and the 380% attack. So, offensively and defensively, Beerus is better, okay? And then if we just go back over here to Cooler, what does Cooler have on him? Well, once Cooler transforms, Cooler is just Beerus, but he doesn't hit as hard. Because 180% attack and defense, you think, oh, that's so much, but that's nowhere near what Beerus has because they multiply into each other. And sure, the additional is cool, but I mean, it's fine. Really, what you're looking at is this version of Cooler. This version of Cooler, I mean, because they're so different, it's really just like, this guy is very good because of his support type ability. His support type ability is really what differentiates him. Because if he was just like if he was like this all the time, in his final form all the time, I think it is much more likely that people would just be like, yeah, Beerus is better. Because, like, Beerus just hits harder and defends better, which is pretty much all that Cooler does once he transforms, right? But what Cooler has on him is just, like, Cooler is better for the team as a whole. Because he's a support type unit, you can run Cooler as a floater on the team, and he will help the team, right? He will help the team with key and attack and defense if you run him as a floater. Whereas if you run Beerus as a floater, which, why would you do that? He will actually probably be hurting the team. Because if you look on Realm of Gods or Explosion of Anger, both of those teams are pretty good. But his only key link is Shocking Speed. And if you're not going to be running him on rotation, I mean, Shocking Speed isn't the most common link. The most common attack link is probably just Prepared for Battle like it is on every single team. But, you know, there's only been one unit in the game's history that has gotten that who wasn't a Saiyan, and it was like STR Pycon on Global. And when he came to JP, they took Prepared for Battle off of him and made him Int. I don't know why they changed his typing, really. But that's just besides the point. So this guy, it depends on what, if you're comparing them, it depends on what you want from your leader. If you want a leader that you're going to run on rotation and he's going to kick ass and take names, you want Beerus. Because Beerus' damage in this game is almost unmatched. There's almost not a unit in this game. There's not a TUR in this game, and this is a fact. There's not a TUR in this game who can do what Beerus can do in one attack. Vegito Blue can do it with counters and additionals and stuff, but Beerus is just not fancy. He will just obliterate you with an over 10 million attack stat in the right situation. Cooler, his team is better. Cooler's team is better. His kit is more diverse. Like, he might not hit as hard or defend as well, but he will just help the team as a whole overall. So, I'm not gonna lie. As of the time I'm recording this, Beerus came out like 12 hours ago. So I don't really know how I feel. I could see an argument for both sides right now. I could see you saying Beerus hits harder, defends better. If you run the team around him, he's a better unit. But I could also hear people saying Cooler's better, his team is better, he's better for his team than Beerus is for his team. Honestly, right now I think I'm leaning towards Beerus. I think I'm leaning towards Beerus. But that could all change. I'm not just sticking my foot in the ground and saying, yup, Beerus is better, or yep, Cooler is better. Because personally, I haven't used either of them yet. I probably should have led off the video with that. I haven't used either of them. Because I'm a global only player. Well, not global only. I have a JP, but I don't buy stones on JP. And I haven't summoned for Cooler, and I'm not going to summon for Cooler. This is just from someone who's been playing the game for about 1,500 days now. This is what I think of these two units after seeing an extensive amount of gameplay, probably. It really just depends on how you play the game. Like, if you want to just change the team a whole lot and the team to still run smoothly no matter what, Cooler is better. It's just because of the support. The support type passive is really what makes Cooler cooler. Whereas just Beerus' defensive and offensive dominance is what makes him hip. But anyways, guys, let me know how you feel about this little debate in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please consider to leave a like, a comment, subscribing to the channel. My name has been Black Hole Rule, and I will see you guys next time.